All right, welcome everyone to our Wednesday, December 18th, 2013 meeting. I will go ahead and call the meeting to order and ask for approval of our agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The agenda is approved. Approval of last week's minutes.
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The minutes are approved. Item 4, approval of claims for payments.
I'll make a motion to approve claims for payment.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion on that? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. We have a change of status in our auditor's office.
Move to approve Jane Shaw as a discharge. She is a part-time position at the auditor's office. It's been eliminated, and last day of work will be 12/30 of 13.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Thank you, Jane, for helping us out for that time. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Do you have any other change of statuses?
Nope.
That was the only one, right?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, item 6, Recorder's Monthly Report.
Move to accept the Recorder's Monthly Report of November of 2013.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion on that? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? That report is accepted. Item 7 is change regular meeting date. And I believe that is put on there for next week, is because next week is Christmas. Unless you two want to come on Christmas Day and have a meeting. I know Nancy would be here, but as of right now, I don't believe we are going to have another meeting unless something comes up for this year. So this will be our last meeting for this year, unless something comes up at the last minute, and we'd be glad to come in and do something other than on Christmas Day. So I would need a motion to go ahead and, I guess, cancel that meeting date.
I'll make a motion to cancel next Wednesday's supervisor meeting date.
The next 2 Wednesdays?
Next 2 Wednesdays, but then is that going to have to be a separate one, changing the
That's our
following to
next one.
Thursday?
Yeah.
So,
So we'll go ahead and cancel the next 2 Wednesdays.
okay, cancel the next 2 Wednesdays.
Second.
Second. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? That motion carries. And then right along with that is set the time and date for our January organizational meeting.
Move to set the time and date of January 2nd at 9 a.m. in the conference room.
Is there a second on that?
Second.
I moved and seconded that the next time we will meet then is for our organizational meeting on January 2nd at 9 a.m. right here. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries and that date is set. Item 9 is a request for a lien search for trail property. This has to do with the Rails to Trail project. We would formally like to request that Randy, I see Randy just walked in the room so we can visit with him a second on it, is that we make sure we don't have any liens or do some title searching on that rail property. And I know with railroads it's a little tougher to do that, Randy, and maybe you want to comment on that real quick on how that procedure would go.
Yeah, just briefly. I have spoken with an abstractor in town, and I was informed that at least at this point in time, it may not be possible to obtain an actual abstract to the property in question. I was informed that normally, if abstracts are put together on what has formerly been railroad property, it's usually going to be a number of years down the road.
Okay.
Now, this is part, in regard to, number one, the abstractor wasn't exact on the time frame, and the other part is, since it wasn't exact, my recollection may not be the best on it, but I believe 20 years was thrown out. I mean, a 20-year time frame before an actual abstract.
Wow.
okay, would be obtained. But short of that abstract, there are other things that can be done, and one of those would be a lien search. And the lien search would not necessarily do the same thing as an abstract in regard to creating a specific legal description to utilize, or including everything that may bear upon the title of the property, but it would at least bring up in regard to any potential liens that could be against that property. And again, this was an informal discussion, not in writing, but there was some reference made that at least one time there had been, or possibly still could be, a mortgage with respect to that property where the railroad had granted a mortgage to a lender. So that would be one thing that, definitely would want to see whether or not that property was clear of any mortgage liens, or at least be aware of it so contact could be made when that would be released.
Okay.
Did not get into specific conversations in regard to costs of a lien search. I know I have seen a number of them in regard to specific lots, a single lot or parcel of property, and those range roughly around the $125 to $150. My guess is this could be possibly could be somewhat higher. Mm-hmm. So if the board is going to ask me to go ahead and request that lien search, I'd like to know if there's a dollar limitation in regard to what the board's willing to expend on that, and if so, how much.
Well, the cost to us that could ensue if it does have a lien could be much, much larger than $150. So, and you're not thinking that it's going to go much over 100, 125, 150, right?
I can ask now specifically, with regard to this. The thing is, with a lien search, you're searching the name of an owner of the property, owner or owners, because liens can go back 10 years, 20 years in certain circumstances.
Okay.
So if there's multiple owners during that time frame, then they have to search the names on multiple owners.
If they go back 20, then there's multiple owners.
Now, the situation could be where it could be a little bit different in regard to this case is, I guess I don't know, in regard to the boundaries that we're dealing with, whether there was any type of split up between multiple owners at any point in time, whether there might be a specific issue or question where there could be two potential owners. I don't know that. I'm not saying there is. I just don't know that in regard to this type of situation. Now, my assumption would be is, let's say you have a question as to whether there's two potential owners of the property at any given time. My guess would be is search both of those names. Just to play it safe. But I'm not the abstractor, okay, with respect to that. What I would intend to do is to get back in touch with an abstractor and request, first find out a dollar amount, at least narrowed down, into a specific range before making the request.
I guess my question to you, Randy, is this something that you would watch over as the process watching over from start to finish?
Okay.
As far as you going out and working with the abstractor, is that,
Yeah, Brian, yes, but what I want to let you know, that isn't a real big obligation on my part.
Okay.
When it comes to something like this, it isn't like the attorney and abstractor work hand in hand during the process.
Okay.
Okay, it isn't anything of that nature, unless there's some specific questions that come up, which could happen. It's more of making a request and the abstractor then providing the finished product.
Well, I guess if you're watching over it, I guess I hate to put just a dollar amount and say, okay, we're only gonna allow $200 because we're spending, you know, a lot of money, close to $1 million here. We don't know what's out there for any type of liens. You know, if we have to go to 300, we have to go to 1,000, but what we want to do is make sure that the charges to us are reasonable and that someone's not gouging, which I'm sure the abstract company wouldn't do, but we still need that person to watch over to make sure that we're not getting gouged on that service. And I just wonder if that was something you could watch for us and that we're not getting, I hate to put a dollar amount on it if we don't know the dollar amount. You know, I don't want to restrict an abstract company because we want to know down, you know, the county really needs to know. I guess I feel that if there's something out there, we need to find it on the front end, not on the back end.
One thing I'm kind of looking at, and although, let's put it this way, I wouldn't say you could go without the lien search at this point in time. When you start throwing out the $1,000 figure, there you're getting into basically normal cost of an abstract.
Okay.
And I'll stress the normal. I don't think anybody in the real estate field is going to say that railroad property is normal.
Right.
Because it's not like other property. How about if we do this way? The only thing I am looking at, Brian, is I just don't feel, you know, super comfortable about having the blank check, you know, out of the general fund.
Right.
You know, that goes saying, you know, this could be spent on something else. I don't see that as basically my job.
Okay.
Might be different if it was under my budget, something like that, one of those things. Could we set a dollar amount at which you would want to be notified before we go over that dollar amount with respect to this?
Like, that sounds reasonable. Do you have a dollar amount in mind for that? That would be,
As the flag would start flying.
as a functional, as a practical or a functional level?
Right.
Practical.
I would say 500.
okay,
I would definitely hope that this could be completed less than that. And
okay.
if it's more than that, I would feel a lot more comfortable with the three of you readdressing it.
I would too.
Sounds very reasonable and sounds like a good plan. Anything else, Randy, on that?
No.
Okay. I would open the floor then for a motion on the information that was just presented to us.
Make a motion for Randy Tilden to request the lien search and put that $500 limit on max as to where you'd get back to us if it reached that amount.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any further discussion on that? If not, all's in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? That motion carries. Thank you, Randy, for taking care of that. Item 10 is utility permits and secondary roads department. Darrell, do we have any utility permits?
No utility permits.
All right. We have no utility permits. That moves us on to item 11, which is approved contract with Iowa Bridge and Culvert of Washington, Iowa for bridge replacement project. Do we have that in front of us? Do you have that? We have now. Thank you, Nancy.
We had 8 bidders on that project, and Iowa Bridge and Culvert was low bid on that.
Okay.
We've sent that paperwork, and we talked about this earlier about the bid already.
This is a
Right.
2-year contract, right, on this one? Or 1 year?
It's the 65 working days. It goes by working days.
Okay. Well, I was thinking of another contract then.
This is a bridge replacement.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I'll move.
Bruce and I have looked it over and recommend your approval for it.
Okay.
I'll move to approve the contract with Iowa Bridge and Culvert of Washington, Iowa for bridge replacement project BROS-CO42 70-8J-42.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Oh, Ron, did you get a chance to look at that again? It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion on that? project? If not, all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? That motion carries.
We had a letting yesterday, the DOT did, and we had a twin box culvert in that letting. So there's no official results, but they let us see the apparent results, and we had 5 bidders on that, and a low bidder was at $425,045.05, and the high bidder was at $533,170.66, so wide range there.
Mm-hmm. $100,000.
The low bidder is a new company that started, and one of the individuals that started is somebody local. They're from Steamboat Rock,
Oh, okay.
so that was nice to see somebody local getting in some work.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Anything else, Darryl?
Well, that's all that we have right now. Just hoping to keep the snow and rain away, and the freezing rain, I guess.
It's an interesting day yesterday with Holston, how fast some of those roads got slick, wasn't it?
Yes.
With just the blowing snow.
That wind came up on us, and
Mm. All right. Thanks, Darryl. Do we have any other business in the room today? If not, means this is our last meeting before Christmas and a new year. I'd like to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And don't eat too much. January 1st, we'll start our fitness program. I will take a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. We are adjourned. Thanks everyone for coming.